Spiritual slumber party. This is where I do spiritual breakdowns of my favorite shows. And I'm super excited to be able to do a spiritual breakdown of Bridgerton season 3, part 2. Now, I did originally record my spiritual breakdown audio style, and if you're interested, please let me know. But I think it's important for people as they are moving into more spiritual understandings of the world that writers and creatives also have this inert ability to tap into the human consciousness and be able to really effectively touch us, right? So you think about your favorite shows. Like, is it drama? Is it comedy? Is it um, horror? So there's so much that goes into being a writer that I think most times people forget writers have some kind of tap in source into more spiritual elements. Okay. So before I give you more of my spiritual breakdown, I'm going to give you more information about myself. So I am a singer songwriter, coach, educator, all of that great stuff. And I just wanted to find a way to have fun while um, living in my spiritualness. And yeah, maybe I've found the thing. I don't know. We'll see. But I, as a background, I think it's important for people to really understand who they are in order to grow emotionally, physically, mentally, in all of these ways. And tapping into, I guess, really understanding how people think and how people move in such ways and how they think and that physiological sorry if I'm not mispronouncing. It's like it's very windy. So in this very uh, kind of closed understanding of how people should react versus how they do react, right? So yeah. And I think Shonda Rhimes, as a writer, she does a really great job of making women characters have depth and have are like she's like, yeah, just the depth. And I've been rocking with her since Grey's Anatomy. Okay, so I'm just gonna true confession here. I did fall off after a few seasons of How to Get Away with Murder, but yeah, I've been true blue though ever since. But what I see and what I'm about to say as I do the spiritual breakdown is like I do have an understanding of her writing, and because of the things I've learned to improve my mental cognitive health, as in how to remember things, how to understand. I actually remember a lot of these kind of scenes from Grey's Anatomy. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, how long ago did Grey's start? Like 20 years ago? And I still remember, some key scenes from Grey's Anatomy and how I'm seeing them show up again here on Bridgerton, right? So it's those kind of things that I think would make me a great. And oh yeah, I used to write for a music magazine, so I know how to review things. So yeah, let's go to it as I'm eager to watch the next episode here. So I watch, and I'm doing this in such a way so I can really try to give as much information as possible here. So this is season 3, part 2. I just watched episode 5. So TikTok, episode 5. Now, I want to give some other, as I give more of my breakdown around this, I also want to give more understanding of the time frame, the amount, of course this is fanciful. Yes, they have a historical figure in it, but this is, we know it's fiction. But a lot of the things that I'm appreciative to how Shonda and the writing team were able to help us as 21st century people understand that I'm glad that the Bridgertons have like seven of them to be able to like be real with each other. You know what I mean? And what I mean by be real, like it's not, it is always our siblings. Unless there's something going on in their, and there is, and that's the thing. It's like siblings really do kind of bring the real in you in some way or another. So I'm glad that they are able to be truly themselves with each other, on a lot of levels, and it brings out their personalities more because when they're out in society, of course, everybody's got to be all ooh, hoo, hoo, prim and proper, and but with each other, they don't have to be that. Okay, and that's really great. So that way, spiritually, we can see how they really are, not just protocol kind of stuff. Now, yeah, the bros, that's kind of where I started seeing that a little bit more, the amongst the brothers. Okay. And then I also wrote down Eloise is a Scorpio. Ask me how I know. So I was like, see, she did something early on in this episode that really just kind of was like, she's a Scorpio. It's like I've been suspicious this a long time about that, but yeah, she's a Scorpio. And then on the flip side, then that makes Francesca. I feel like she's Virgo. She's got Virgo vibes. Okay, and yeah, because they get along, and it's like they're just yeah. I feel like they are the closest sisters with each other, like in some way or another. But I know it seems really kind of tidy and put in a little bow kind of thing, but at the same time, that's kind of how Scorpios and Virgos act with each other. Sometimes it's like, yeah, we're good, but stand over there. So yeah, I totally see how that could be those kind of connections with those two. Now, as this episode began, of course, we all remember the carriage ride. Yeah, okay. So remember the carriage ride. So this is where the episode begins. And I'm just gonna be honest, like Penn, she's drunk. She drunk. So she's high. She don't know what to do. She's like, what? Like, huh? She can't think straight. She probably can't walk right. You know what I'm saying? So all of these things that are happening, she's just like emotional overload. It's like all of the hormones that she just like flushed through her body, or Colin flushed through her body, is like is taking over her mind, literally. And then spiritually, this is where people are vulnerable, where you just had a bunch of emotional things happening to you, and you're very pliable, after that. Just saying. Other notes. Okay, so I jumped around a little bit. I don't want this to be too long, so I can watch the next episode of Bridgerton. I think Marcus is messy. Oh yeah, he is messy. So this is Lady Danbury's brother. Like, he seems like he was a player back in the day, and he says he wants to settle down, but his sister's like, I don't believe you, that kind of thing. And then he's being messy because he knows how to. He's using all his little bad boy ways to get to Lady Bridgerton, right? And that's like, what is happening? And old girl, she's like, she had been with nobody in a long time, so of course she's gonna be like, oh, okay. So I'm worried. I'm worried Okay, I hope good things happen, but I'm a little worried because I feel like Marcus is using his tricks, a little smooth, and that reminds me too. Yes, so Shonda is really good at turning a phrase in dialogue that if you're not paying attention, you missed it. You missed the beat. You missed. It's like that's that spiritual spark, and that's when when you catch certain people and they flirt in such a way with just their words, and you're just like, what? So there's lots of those things happening throughout the whole series, by the way. So I do want to mention that. It's like there is communication, and I say this a lot on my channel. There's communication beyond just words, like saying it out loud. It's how you look at someone, it's how your voice says it to someone, and it's like how close are you to them. A lot of things to consider. So a lot of those moments happened, I think, maybe not throughout the series, but in this particular episode that I'm talking about, it's ooh. Oh, well, thank you. Appreciate it. So, yeah, it's like there's a lot of things that they are saying that are seemingly innocent, but then at the same time, kind of slick, and kind of, if you're not thinking about it, it's almost like you've gotten the consent. Now, one example in that is when is it Kilmartin and Francesca? There was when they first finally started talking to each other, that he said something to her to the effect of, is like, you are my woman and I'm just gonna go and lock this in, and she was like, what, wait, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, yeah, okay. So that was very interesting to see that kind of dialogue happen, and there are lots of moments throughout the series that it does happen like that. So just saying. All right, then next, I want to talk about Cressida. It's like when we are like finally getting into our spiritualness, and we assume that, oh, once you made it to the level, then you're there to the level. It's like, no, you get tested continuously, in your spiritual journeys out there. And Cressida, she is in it like right now. So it seems like she finally tried to make connections with Eloise, and then next thing you know, she's being accused of doing something that she didn't really do. And then this opportunity, well, not opportunity. So this is what I kind of thought was going to happen based on part one. I thought because she was flirting with the other dude, Nature Man, that he was going to end up like getting with her. I don't know, but like I said, I just watched episode 5, so I don't know. But next thing you know, her parents are like totally betrothing her off to somebody else, like in this episode, and she's like, what? And the first thing that came into my mind is like, oh my gosh, free Cressida. Because it's like she's trying to do all the right things, and the next thing you know, it's like she's being like tried again, literally. And because of that comes a confession. Like, I wrote it down before it actually, and it did, a confession occurred at the end of this episode. And the reason why it happened was because of the queen's see, now this is what I also wrote before that happened too. So in this series where, all right, so I believe Queen Charlotte, she's so bored, she wants Lady Whistledown to like just be messy. She wants it. She likes it. She likes it. There are people who are like that. So I think that, when Lady Whistledown got a little soft after the engagement and stuff, that Queen Charlotte was like, you know what, I don't have time for this. I need some drama. So I'm gonna drum up some more drama. So, and that's what she did. And what I wrote was like, Queen Charlotte wants to duel. Like she genuinely does. She wants to outdo her without saying she wants to do that. And in these times, this particular piece of work, It's like women, they couldn't just be out here just calling people each other out, right? They there was like decorum or whatever, so they couldn't just be like doing whatever. Even a queen, even a queen. Okay, so they kind of had to just be a little persnippety and learn how to like like slice people with your words and stuff, right? And she just needs somebody to spar with. And then let's see. Now, okay, I'm gonna end this breakdown with this important thing. This is gonna be a little bit R-rated, but not by much. So there is a love scene in this episode. There is a love scene. So the love scene I liked, quite honestly. So I felt like it was genuine. I felt like this is like, girl, she's got body, okay, and is realistic, right? So there's all those wonderful things. And what I was thinking and what she was trying to do was to give him the news of who she really is. And I would have also advised her to do that. And that is not, to me, it's like a physical thing, basically. So after a man, enjoys himself, he has lost so much testosterone. He's just to the point of just like chilling. He's like, whatever. He's calm. He's cool. He's relaxed. He's, what made me write the note was when Colin was like, and there's two things to this. So Colin was like, okay, so when Penn was like, can we do it again? And he was like, give me 5 minutes. And then he's like, make that 10 minutes. So it made that was like a little aw, because again, when a man really, really likes you, he probably thinks that this might be the one and only time the one and only time I have. I must make it count. So he gave his all, literally, like, okay, and to the point where it takes them a little longer to recover. Okay, so that's when, and again, that's a piece of writing and a piece of like being a woman of a certain age, knowing like, he needed more time. He really does like her, and that was like that physical manifestation of it. Okay, so I'm telling you, I can do these spiritual breakdowns through noticing body language, like my own personal experience in life with psychology, writing, like having studied in communication and the arts. I got so much in this. But yeah, so I would love to do another spiritual breakdown, and let me know what you think in the comments. Like I'm trying not to get too deep into these particular videos, only because, I could. But if there's something in this episode that you were like, yeah, let's talk more, let me know. Okay. All right. With that, I say, take care.